Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started with our program here, and as we always do, we like to honor our country with our NJROTC cadets with a Pledge of Allegiance. So Gunny probably has them out there practicing or doing burpees or something like that, push-ups. So as soon as he gets here, we'll get started. Yeah, they got to get their covers on. Today we come to honor students who have accepted the important challenge of defending our nation and serving our country. This is a very important ceremony for our school and our community. To think that 16 students from Hamilton High School have chosen to serve is truly inspiring. I'm so happy to see everyone here today, and I'm happy that we were able to enjoy a nice meal. Chef Austin Kuhn provided that for us, and if he were here, we would thank him. But as we will do, let's go ahead and please stand and honor our country.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. So they're going to put their gear away, and we've invited them back into breakfast as well. Very excited for our Naval Junior ROTC program, which placed third at the regional championships this year. Also finished 12th nationally in our academic team. It's called Brain Brawl. And so out of over 600 ROTC units in the nation, we came in 12th nationally. So that was a credit to Captain Allison and our students who participated that at Daytona, Florida. Hamilton High School is very proud of our tradition of honor and service, and I'm glad students have the opportunity to serve our country. I'm proud of the relationships our students, teachers, counselors, administrators have established with our recruiters, and many of you are here today, and I want to thank you for your work. They truly make Hamilton High School a better place by providing career guidance and opportunities to our students. I also want to thank our 6 counselors for the work they do to provide opportunities for our students as well. And it's a tireless job that they have, and they do a wonderful job with that. And teachers as well. It's interesting the different philosophies that some schools have in regard to military service. And I know I'm thankful that we have our recruiters in our building almost on a daily basis working with our students, so thank you. Students, soldiers, I want to thank you for your commitment. I commend you for your decision. I think it's great. And right now, things are pretty good. But very soon, as you ship off, you might face some difficulties. Certainly, there will be hardships for you, as there should be. And likewise, you will push, you'll test, you'll work hard, but maybe things don't go your way. And then you might start to beat yourself up or question the decision that you have made. You work harder, you push harder, you might get frustrated. When this happens, try asking yourself, do I just need some help? One of the misconceptions about being a soldier is that it's about creating invincible, untouchable superheroes. That's not true. That reduces the complexity of who you are. That's a wrong way to think. Even Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who literally ruled the world, said, "Don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill, and just like a soldier on the wall of battle, so what if you are injured and can't climb up without another soldier's help?" The art of asking for help is a noble one when you need it. I hope you have the ability and find the strength to ask for help if you need it. We all need it at some points in our lives. And to the recruiters and our officers here today, I hope your commitment to our students and soldiers continues in the future as well. To our students, I promise you, you will always find a home at Hamilton High School. When you are on leave, I want to see you and hear about the great things that you are doing. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Hamilton High School School Counselor Matthew Bradley. Mr. Bradley serves as our military liaison and works extensively with our armed forces. Please welcome Matthew Bradley.
Good morning. Like Mr. Wilhelm said, my name is Matt Bradley, and I'm one of the school counselors here. I would really like to extend a message of thank you to everybody sitting in this room. Thank you to the recruiters for working with these students here. Thank you to the parents for supporting these young people as they make a very difficult decision. And most importantly, thank you to the students and the young people who are choosing to follow a path that very few people in this country choose to do. With that said, I'm going to turn things over to Captain Allison to get this program started. So thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. I want to also welcome you, and I'm going to keep everything short because the last time I actually made some statements like this, I felt bad for the guest speaker because I ended up saying everything that he was going to say. So we're going to make this, we're going to get this thing moving along. Our first representative, our first recruiter is coming up, representing the United States Army, Staff Sergeant John Lamb.
Thank you, Captain, Mr. Wilhelm. I'm just going to go ahead to keep it moving right along. Can invite everybody to come up. So first off, David Baker, Nathaniel Carter, Henry Wysong, Summer Napier, Zachary Money. That should be it. Feel really bad if I miss somebody right now. Let's go ahead and line up in front. So let me talk about each and every one of these wonderful individuals. Just have to ask one quick question. Okay. So Zachary Money was actually the first one from Hamilton High School this year to make his commitment to the United States Army, which is why it's fitting he's standing right here. He is going off for the active duty Army to be a 12 November, which is a horizontal construction engineer. Nathaniel Carter, standing to his right, was also one of the first ones this year. A lot of people don't remember Mr. Carter because he actually completed in record time his high school education over at the Miami School earlier this year and was recognized by the superintendent for his accomplishment. He is going to be an 11 X-ray infantry recruit with the Ranger contract. So he is going off to do some bigger and better things and a lot of good excitement that he's looking forward to. Summer Napier, who's standing next to him, she is actually a junior this year, and unlike very many that take this opportunity, she's going to basic training this summer, only to return back to Hamilton High School next year to finish out her senior year, and she's going to be a unit supply specialist in the Army Reserve here locally and continue to move on to college after she graduates, so you'll see her again next year. Mr. Wysong, also one of the first at the beginning of the year, decided he was ready to take this plunge. He is going off to do computer communications, a lot of very technical things. He did a wonderful job on the ASVAB, and he's also represented the school very well this year. He was asked to speak at the Junior Achievement Breakfast as well as the Rotary, talking about leadership, and has served as the executive officer this year for the Junior ROTC. And on his right, Mr. Baker is moving on to the Army Reserve so he can come back and attend college. And he will be serving as a unit supply specialist as well, or 92 Alpha, so automated logistics specialist. And I joke with Mr. Baker about his job because it's the most important one in the Army. He orders the toilet paper. And all of you understand how important that, he orders a lot of other things too, but I do tell people it's the most important job, because if people don't have toilet paper, they just get crabby. So I would like to extend a special thanks to each one of them this year. The best of luck to all of them moving forward, and I believe they do deserve a great round of applause. You guys can go sit down now. Good job.
Just as a point of reference, if every 6-month deployment I ever made was at least 9 months long. The Navy has a problem with calendars. And in most cases, they forget to tell the logistics people that you got extended. So if you're smart enough to bring someone on board, you can sell a roll of toilet paper for $5. Not that I've ever done that. Nor have I ever bought any. So, next, representing the United States Navy is OS2 Martin Harpin, and LS1, she's going to pronounce her first name, Rosario.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Petty Officer Jamilka Rosario. I'm with the United States Navy.
My name is Petty Officer Harpin with the United States Navy.
All right, just like the Army, I'm going to call everybody up, and please line up here to my right. First one up, I don't believe everybody's here, but Future Sailor Haley Brock, Future Sailor Nathan Collins, Future Sailor Tommy Lynn Farmer, Future Sailor Austin Crabio, Future Sailor Ashton Sanborn, Future Sailor Brianna Stapleton, Future Sailor Deonta Tipton, and Future Sailor Skylar Lewis. I'm going to put them on the spot. I'm going to actually have them tell you what their job is, and maybe they'll tell you why they decided to join the United States Navy. Come on.
I chose to become a machinist mate because I really like working on
I chose CS. Hopefully, I enjoy cooking, but hopefully, see myself doing something else.
I chose GSE, which is gas turbine systems electrician. I like working with mechanical parts and electrical.
I chose EM, which is electrician's mate. I like electricity work, so.
I chose EN because they work closely with special operations, and that's somewhere I want to be in the future.
All right, give it up for my future sailors. I have some certificates for you, but just to keep it short, I'll give them to you after this is over, okay? All right.
Representing the United States Army National Guard, Sergeant Ryan Halcomb. She took hers. So.
I'm Sergeant Halcomb. I'm with the National Guard. One of mine is late, so that's fun. So I'm the newest recruiter here at Hamilton High School, unless they're taking over for Elliot, but it's been a great year. I've enjoyed it, meeting the students and interacting with them. It's been an experience. And, you know, shout out to Hamilton High School, which is the most military-friendly school I've been into. So thank you for that, Mr. Wilhelm, and all of the educators here. So my only senior that I have here this year is Alexis Hunter. I'm not going to make her talk. And she went through a very good process of working towards joining the military, and I don't think I've ever seen another recruit work as hard as she did to join the military, and it was quite inspiring. So she joined as a 25 Lima, which is a cable installer maintainer. So I'm going to go off and do that here this summer. So That's all I got.
That is the first time Sergeant Halcom's been in front of any of us and not made the comment, "No, I am not a student here." So, we'll mark you down for that. So, today I'm going to play a little double-hatted. I know very little about the Air Force. I know even less about the Air National Guard, but I guess I am them today. So, So if Mr. Chase Teets could come forward. You're looking that way. Okay. We've got to know a little bit about Mr. Teets. He's in the CTE program. He's in the carpentry program, and so we like to hang things in our classroom. And he likes to hang things, so we have a little joint thing. So this year, we're getting kind of crowded on our pitcher board, so we had to move them all around. So he was a little bit involved in that. And a couple of years ago, I bought some of our flag hoist that says Hamilton NJROTC. And so he was gracious enough to come up and help me hang those, and I'm still glad. I still think of him all the time when I see the 2 extra holes in the bulkhead that he left, that has no apparent purpose. So
design.
Yeah. So he is enlisting in the Air Force. He's going to be leaving here on the 4th of June. And going to recruit training at Lackland Air Force Base, and then he's going to do some further on training at Shepherd Air Force Base and hopefully at Eglin Air Force Base, and become an EOD. And so leaving holes in other places for no apparent reason.
That's what I do best.
Yeah. Thank you. Next, knowing nothing about the U.S. Air National Guard, Mr. Tyler Tripoli. We could have brought Mr. Tripoli up here for everybody, I think. At one time or another, I think he enlisted in all of you. I think he's currently enlisted in the Navy, is that correct?
Yes.
Technically? Okay. Yeah. And so next week, I'm bringing in a representative from the French Foreign Legion. He will probably enlist with them. So we don't have a whole lot of information because he's still in his permanent transition period from one service to another. So I will tell you something. Mr. Tripoli joined us as a junior and has been with us for 2 years and has been and stepped right in and has been very active in our program, sometimes a little too active. I'd like to say that it would have been nice to have him for 3 years, but I don't know if we could have handled him for 3 years. I don't know if he'd still be standing if he'd been with us for 3 years. But it's been a pleasure with him, and we look forward to great things somewhere, someplace, some uniform, doing something. So. Now to introduce our guest speaker. Captain Rob Callison enlisted in 2004 and reported to the Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego in 2005. After completing Marine combat training, he reported to Marine Corps Communications Electronics School, where he trained to become a field radio operator, otherwise known as a target, right? So, a big target. So, upon completion of communications school, Captain Callison reported to 2nd Battalion, 24th Marines in Chicago, Illinois. From 2007 to 2008, he was mobilized and deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom as a radio operator for a tactical air control party. After returning from Iraq, Captain Callison transferred to Ammo Company, 4th Supply Battalion in Greenville, South Carolina. In 2010, he attended Officer Candidate School. In 2011, he completed his bachelor's degree in business administration from Bob Jones University. From 2011 to 2012, Captain Callison attended the Basic School and Basic Communications Officer course in Quantico, Virginia. Upon completion, he reported to Communications Company, 2nd Marine Logistics Group, where he served as a platoon commander and operations officer until 2014. In February 2014, Captain Callison reported to Combat Logistics Battalion 26 to be the battalion's communication officer. From 2015 to 2016, he deployed in support of the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit in his primary role of battalion communications officer, but also serving as a non-combatant evacuation operations officer, providing training to U.S. Embassy personnel in Jordan and U.S. Army personnel in Kuwait. Additionally, he participated in Exercise Trident Juncture. From 2016 to present, Captain Callison has served as the executive officer for Marine Corps Recruiting Station, Louisville. I will tell you, and as I was talking to him earlier, being a communications officer is one of the most difficult and painful jobs you can have, because in every exercise, I will tell you, as we do our after-action reports, you guys get beat up every single time because everybody blames you. So, and by and large, we probably wouldn't all be here if we couldn't communicate. So, so with that, Captain Callison.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? First, I want to thank Hamilton High School, Mr. Wilhelm, for creating the environment where we recognize the future of our U.S. military. I do want to pass on some of my experiences that I've had in the Marine Corps in ways that should help each of you as you pursue your careers in whatever service or branch that you pursue. As a member of the Marine Corps, I'm very proud of what my Marines have been able to do. I've had Marines deployed in 3 continents at once. I've been able to see some of the things that our young men and women can do. It doesn't matter the branch. Every military branch has its core capabilities that makes it strong. But one thing that I want to talk to you about is dedication. And this will be for both our future service members and our families, okay? I've been able to witness what each of our branches is capable of doing. Each branch has its core strength, its capabilities, from the small U.S. Coast Guard to the massive U.S. Army. Each branch has some capability that helps make our overall military stronger. So if I could just get a raise of hands, who's enlisted in the Army? This is going to be our largest. The U.S. Army is about 1 million strong. That includes the National Guard. So the U.S. Army is our oldest branch. It was formed in 1775. And is the most capable standing army in the world. Its capabilities are seen in a variety of ways. I've seen, massive supply convoys in Iraq, supporting combat operations, to non-combatant evacuation operations or humanitarian operations that you could see anywhere in the world. But with a massive combat power, if you see what happened in the invasion of Iraq, the sheer force that was provided by the U.S. Army. Second, like I talked about, was the humanitarian service. It's unmatched in anywhere in the world, and people will call upon the U.S. Army to support them. And then on the state level, for our National Guard, what every governor can rely upon is the U.S. National Guard to support any humanitarian service in that state. The second oldest branch is the Navy. And my last deployment was aboard a U.S. Navy ship, the USS Arlington, where I was able to observe what the Navy's done. And good on you for those that want to be in the Navy. Who was enlisted in the Navy? All right, so I appreciate what you guys do. We need a taxi service as the United States Marine Corps. It's one thing we joke about. Marines are deployed aboard U.S. Navy ships to be where our nation calls, and the Navy is the best poised to do so. But the Navy has a very thankless job, being able to, they stand 6 hours on, 6 hours off, 6 hours on every day, to maintain a combat footing anywhere in the world, wherever the president desires. From 4 deployed combat aircraft and Marines deployed upon those ships I've seen very, very amazing anti-smuggling operations done by the U.S. Navy. They are truly a force for good, as their saying says. The U.S. Coast Guard, we don't have any reps here or any enlistees in the U.S. Coast Guard, but I'll mention them quickly. They're not a part of the Department of Defense, but they are part of the Department of Homeland Security. They ensure security for the U.S. On our waterways everywhere around the United States, but also they're called upon to support foreign militaries. We have U.S. Coast Guardsmen deployed aboard British ships right now. So our youngest branch is the U.S. Air Force. We've got two here that were enlisted U.S. Air Force. Then we joke that it's our civilian branch of the U.S. military. It provides very, very critical portions of our national security, from air superiority, or even the best trained combat medics that are forward deployed. The U.S. Air Force is very valuable. And as Marines, I was on a tactical air control party, as mentioned earlier. The U.S. Air Force deploys A-10 Warthogs, which the Marines need, are very, very happy to rely upon because they provide some of the best combat air support. Last but not least is the best branch, and that's the United States Marine Corps. We have only 183,000 active duty Marines, and we're arguably the most versatile. We have more aircraft in the Air Force. Marines are always forward deployed with the United States Navy, and we claim that we're the best trained. But one thing that drives each of us as the branches of the military is competition. With all the recruiters that are here, every recruiter competes against the other recruiters. But we serve one purpose, and that's to maintain the security of the United States. And this is done through various capabilities. As I said, every branch has its capabilities. But it's dedication. So there's different levels of dedication. So everybody right now is dedicated to finishing up school, getting through this portion. But once you get to your basic training, you're going to be dedicated to your squad mate, your bunk mate, rack mate, as we call it in the Marine Corps, the person that's to your left and your right. And then it'll be dedication to your unit, dedication to your branch of the military, and overall dedication to the United States. So first, let me thank you for your willingness to serve our country. But one thing I would be remiss to do would be to recognize the parents. For the parents that are in the room, thank you for the support for your future soldier, sailor, airman, Marine. I'm one of two Marines in my family, and if it wasn't for the support of my parents, my younger brother was an infantry Marine as well, and that support's very valuable. And without your support, it could really be the difference of their success. It will be difficult as they pursue their careers in the military, but that's all I have. I want to thank you for, as I said, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to me as I rambled on up here. But if I can have a recognition for our newly enlisted, I appreciate it.
We have a last-minute addition here, so I'm going to bring up. Okay, both of you come up. I don't care. No, they're not twins.
No, actually, there's a couple students that think
He's
we're
the older
brothers.
one, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay. Okay, I'll let you do your thing.
So Logan Hooper, he's what we call a split training option. So he was here last year as a junior, enlisted, left over the summer, came back, so he's got his fancy dress blues on. What's your name?
91 Bravo.
He's a 91 Bravo, so he's a wheel vehicle mechanic. He's going to go to AIT here after he graduates. He's going to go off and do great things. You're coming back to go to school. Where are you going to go to school at?
Miami, not Oxford.
He's going to go to Miami, Oxford, and get his degree there. Paid by the National Guard. He's going to go great places.
Yep, ROTC in Miami, and plan to become an officer in the Army.
There we go.
Hopefully become JAG, which is military lawyer.
finally get a few minutes here, a few seconds to say a few things. You know, Captain Callison talked about, you know, the minority of people that we have. When you look at this, you know, we have 327 million people in the country today. We have less than 10 million veterans, and we have several here today, and thank you for your service. And we have a little under, when you look at all the forces that we have, a little under 2 million in uniform. You know, that is the 1% that is protecting this nation at any given time. That's pretty powerful when you look at the numbers and you look at, you know, 16 members of your class are about ready to raise their right hand and swear before their God that they will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And then they've got this other thing, and that they got to say all the regulations, all that stuff, all those regulations that we've never, you know, you've never read. In fact, I never read them, and and thank God, you know, that I didn't do that. Otherwise, I'd probably be dead by now. So so I welcome you to that very small group of people who do this now. Now, to recognize one of those veterans, we have a special guest here from American Legion Post 138. That's Mr. Roger Cruz.
Thank you. Mr. Wilhelm, could you come up forward, please? My name is Roger Cruz, retired Army, 21 years. I am a member of the American Legion Post 138 right here in Hamilton. I want to, first of all, congratulate all of you that have enlisted into the military to protect our country. And without the support and help of Hamilton High School and Mr. Wilhelm, we couldn't achieve the ongoing requirements of our country to have freedom, to vote, and to have worship a God of our choice. And with their support, I would like to donate to your ROTC program. American Legion Post 138 would like to thank you for your support.
Thank you.
We, the officers, really care for what you do to our community and our country in support of Girl State and Boy State, Mr. Wilhelm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd also like to recognize, and my eyes, it's 1083, correct? Is 19, yeah, you get your flamping all that stuff. I can't see. The AMVETS Post in Hamilton here in 1983, who've been a huge supporter of our program. And we would have had a very difficult time getting down to Embry-Riddle University down in Daytona Beach if it wasn't for their support. And so we greatly appreciate that. It's been, that was quite an endeavor, and I will tell you a little bit about that. We had to go up against right off the get-go, we had to go up against the defending national champion that had the exact same teams they had the year before. Their lead smart guy looked older than me, had more gray hair than I did, and I thought he was one of the instructors. So our kids got so intimidated, they started moving away from the little plunger to answer the questions. So, but somehow we overcame that and made it into 12th place. So very proud of them. So last is kind of has historically become kind of the highlight of this this presentation, and it's typically the highlight of my day. Is I get to spend all these days, these weekends, these over the summer and many other times with Gunnery Sergeant McAllister. So without further ado, Gunnery Sergeant Todd McAllister.
I'm a little under the weather, so I got to make sure I have something to wet my whistle a little bit. I'm actually Gunnery Sergeant Todd McAllister, retired. My first name is Todd. And have been since 2003. Been here at high school for 14 and a half years. And Mr. Wilhelm and others alike in all the leadership capacity here at high school has rewarded me each and every year the opportunity to come back here and try to make a difference for these kids. Not here for myself or anybody else, here for these kids. And that's it. That's where I draw the line. I'm going to talk about discipline a little bit. Because in reality, I think that we have a huge problem in our society with discipline. Not only with kids, but with adults alike that are raising kids. And sometimes you got to find your way and make a difference your own way, because every human body knows the difference between right and wrong. You're going to be tested. You're going to have things taken away from you. You're not going to be able to cry because you don't have your phone. You're not going to be able to cry because you're not getting your way. You're just not. You're going to have to develop some inner strength of discipline, the fire in the belly to get over those humps. You're going to be tested mentally and physically, and your first thought in your mind, I didn't sign up for this. Where's my phone at? I'm going to call Mom. Sign me out of school. Something. Well, you're going to be pushed and pushed and pushed. And I urge you to reach down deep inside and have some discipline, have some pride in yourself, have some respect for yourself and your family, all the people that believe in you to go serve your country in your own way. All of you have different reasons for doing this, and I applaud you for doing that. Grandfathers, great-grandfathers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, teachers, administrators, someone has affected you in some kind of way to do the right thing. Hopefully it's going to be you, yourself, that makes yourself, push yourself through there and do this. As a former DI myself from Paris Island from 1992 to 94, I will tell you that these drill instructors, drill sergeants, and others do in fact care about you. They don't look like it. They don't say things that mean it or assume that they like you, but they respect you for being there. And they are going to push you and push you and push you, and they're going to grind you out. They're going to take everything they can. They're going to get everything they can to get something out of it. This is no joke, friends. This is no joke at all. Serving your country is an exceptional responsibility that no others, and many others, that cannot and will not take. A lot cannot take it because of medical reasons, this, that, the other, and there are so many out there that wish they could. You have an opportunity. Don't screw it up. Don't quit. Get out from underneath that umbrella of your parents, whoever it is that's supporting you with the food in your belly, the medical insurance, the dental, a structured life that's giving you an opportunity to get out there and be your own man, be your own woman. Have a little discipline, have a little pride in yourself. And I wish every single one of you the best of luck, I really do. It's really cool to see young people in uniform and on a platform of, I do, and I want to do this. All fun aside, I wish all the recruiters in this building, from all the services, the best of luck in recruiting. You know that by operating in and out of our classroom, we don't offer anyone any special privileges. Okay? There's a place for everybody. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Finally, Mom and Dad, first of all, good job in raising your kids to do this. When they come back, there's going to be a few changes. You're going to see that. But they're still your son or daughter. And when they come back in that first morning that they're home, remind them that they spent the last few weeks and months making their bed every single day, so they can make it then and for the rest of their life. The maid didn't come in and pick up after them. They can do that for themselves. So, and for moms, it's a little week off, but happy Mother's Day. And this concludes our ceremony. So.